Hey guys, we're going to do a video on play today. I'm probably going to end up going over several different concepts in this video, would be my guess. I finally did get her to start, oh, I don't need to turn this off. I finally did get her to start playing tug of war with me. So far, she doesn't care. With me, she has shown no concern or care for tennis balls, or any ball for that matter. She hasn't cared at all about my flirt pole where I have her chase a toy. Really the only type of play that I've seen her show any interest in, I love you so much, you're the best thing ever, is when I am actually using like a toy and I'm actually playing with her. So she likes the tug style type play, and that's just what I've noticed. I just want to go over some other things that I've noticed though with this one, because I'm probably going to discourage you from playing with her for a long time. And the reason why is because when she first comes home, oh, you stretch it out? Yeah. She's so cute. The reason why I'm probably going to have you hold off on play for a bit is because play does a lot of things to her that are going to backfire for you, especially if you decide to start playing with her too soon. So, a couple of the things that I've noticed that play does to her is, well, as you can imagine, it revs her up. And I have definitely solidified my conclusion that excitement throws off her equilibrium. It then makes her very frustrated. There's a sense of defiance that comes over the training when she's in a frustrated state, because the frustration kind of sends her in the other direction than you want. It's almost like we're correlated with the frustration. So then you start to get these blow-offs, and I think they have a little bit more to do with the frustration that she experiences than they do from necessarily defiance itself. And then it takes her a long time to calm down. She gets very tense about it. The other thing that I've noticed is that when I play, she's easier to control inside, because indoors there's not as much external stimulus, so you're not going to get wind blowing with smells, birds flying over, those types of things. So it really kind of heightens her prey drive to a state in which she starts to like look for other things that represent that same drive to her. So when I do the play outside, I notice that she can't relax on place in between play sessions, because now she wants to know where the bird is. She wants to look up into the sky. She wants to air scent. She wants to track on the ground. She stays on place, but she doesn't necessarily do this on place. She kind of just stands and kind of scans the environment. And so what play gets her, not only does the excitement, kind of throw off that equilibrium, but then the excitement kind of triggers this, when I am in a hunting state of mind, I'm excited. If you can imagine that hunting makes any animal in an excited state, it's adrenalizing. So this play, it triggers this prey drive inside of her. She gets very excited, and she gets more external. She starts to look around in the outside world more. And what we're trying to do is build her pack drive, which she has much more of now. And so we really need to get that pack drive higher. And so if we're adding toys into her world, unfortunately we have more work to do in terms of prey drive before we bring this into your schedule, because it automatically sends her into this kind of excited, I'm off balance, I'm kind of back to that state of mind I used to be in, where I was kind of always hunting and always kind of looking for a prey animal or a form of stimulus. So there's an association there with play, and it makes a lot of sense to me, because Quail was living for a long time in a state of stress with you guys, where you were trying to use these things to tire her out, but unfortunately it was building stamina for this state of mind. And so it's all correlated to itself, all these exciting activities that you were doing were making her, I know it was unintentional, and you have to let that go because you didn't know any better. That's what everyone thinks makes a dog happy, right? And so now we have an association between play and this excited, hyperactive, prey-driven state of mind. And when she goes home, your environment's going to be associated with this too. So you're associated with it, your house is associated with it, your yard's associated with it, there's all these associations. And what we actually need to focus on first when she comes home is rebuilding those associations. You know, we might even hold off on play until you move, so that it's a new house and you don't have all these associations, and you're spending the next couple months just building this pack drive and just focusing on keeping her calm and keeping her relaxed and keeping her under threshold, so that you guys kind of become associated with that state of mind. And then maybe when you move, you guys start right back up with that state of mind, so the new house doesn't mean go crazy and spin in circles. And then once you start to see her kind of really, really like let go of these old associations, I think play is going to benefit you. But for now, I don't think it's going to benefit you. I think it's going to backfire. I think it's going to send her backwards. And I know this because even though my environment has never represented any of these things, when I bring out play, I start to see her on a very mild scale start to fall back. I have gotten her to a point where I can actually put her in her crate. I can take her leash off outside of her crate. I can give her the peace sign. She'll go into her crate. She will turn around and sit and not spin in circles. I've gotten to that point with her. Incredible progress. I'll probably make a video. I might even do it in this video. But whenever I play with her, I've noticed that I have to actually do some more repetitions because the only time she started spinning in circles in her crate is after play. Even if I do a lot of making sure that she's calmed down before I crate her. So that kind of just, you know, when I start to see those correlations, I start to see where, you know, that problematic behavior comes from this, you know, all I ever did was play and get myself super hyper and jacked up and adrenalized and prey-driven. And, you know, it's very obvious when I see these correlations where some of this behavior is stemming from. So I don't want you to feel discouraged. You know, this might be like, oh man, that kind of sucks. Because it's just going to be a temporary period of time just to strengthen your bond and to really get her to this like zen-like state of mind with you guys, so that when you go to do play, it just benefits your relationship instead of sets it back to that point that she was, you know, before you met Leah. Okay, so what I like to do with play is I put them on place, and I really like, you know, this is really calm, so I like to kind of wait to see that they go into a more relaxed state of mind before I add the toy. So that's what you're going to be doing. And this is the other thing too, is that, you know, I would make this style of play a lifestyle for you guys, where play doesn't just come out of nowhere, or you don't have like a toy bin, or you're not just like randomly kind of getting her revved up, you know, probably for the rest of her life. When you are playing, it's more set up in a formal setting, in a purposeful play type of setting, with a really, really strong emphasis in the off switch and creating calm in between your play sessions. So I put them on, so to start with, you know, I've already done doors, I've already potted her, she's already relieved herself, I put her on place, and then with all this talking that I'm doing, you can see that she's really kind of calmed herself down. It doesn't usually look this calm when I first start, because she's obviously just had a nap, so she's got all this energy to bring to the training session. But if you can get her back to calm her all the way down like this before you play, that's even better. So that's what the first step is going to look like. And then the next thing, I'm going to grab this toy, and I'm going to present it to her. Now, when I used to grab this toy, she would break place every single time. So that kind of tells me that, you know, when she sees a toy, it's go. Let's go. I'm jacked up. I'm revved up. That's not a very good off switch. I want the off switch. I want them to understand that this is a permission-based activity. And rules, boundaries, and limitations only strengthen your bond and make a dog more balanced. So by creating the rule that the sight of the toy doesn't mean come and get it, wait, you have to wait for permission, she is having to show more self-restraint, more impulse control, which, let's face it, Quail needs as much impulse control as she can gain. And it kind of puts you in a sense of authority because you're the one controlling the activity instead of it just being a go activity. It starts and ends with you. So once I have the toy and I can see, you know, if she were to break, you just want to put her back on place and wait for her to calm down again, right? So some of this is good. At first is going to be a lot of waiting, and that's how it was when I first started this, a lot of waiting. Now, then I'm going to get eye contact, and then when I get it, I'm going to tap the button, and I just present the toy to her when I tap the button. So those two things together represent, all right, game on. Okay. And then she gets all into it, and she gets all nutty. Yeah, yeah. Get it. Get it. You getting a little off balance there, girl? Get it. Yeah. Yeah. Good girl. Good girl. Much calmer about play too, which I think is beneficial for her because she'll be able to play longer and more frequently if it doesn't get her super off balance. Huh? Are you not in the mood? Yeah. Get it. Get it. Good girl. Good girl. So right now, there we go, we're getting some circles. She's not super into it. Maybe I'll get a rope. I've been using this the last 3 sessions. Maybe this is not incentivizing enough. Sometimes it helps to rotate toys so that you keep them, especially if they like a multitude of toys, that can sometimes help, keep that excited association going. But, a lot of the times she'll really hold on to that toy and I'll have to tap the e-collar. Right now I'm on a 3. You can see her e-collar is still sitting in that down low upright place. I'll show you that when we train tomorrow. But a lot of times I have to kind of use my e-collar to get her to drop the toy from her mouth. And in that particular situation, she kind of got over it before I had the opportunity. So that would be my out command, which is drop it from your mouth. I'm going to sit just a hair further away from her. And then I put her back on place. Great job. So, I can't remember if I asked you, how good she was on place. It seems like you guys really created a good stay, because I feel like she does a really good job of kind of staying within that boundary line for the most part. But this activity is actually focused around creating a calm stay on place. So, and then also an off switch from play, and then the ability to self-soothe. So how to calm down from play. So if place means calm, and play means go up to the most excited state of mind you can get, I'm creating contrast between the two. So this is, when I play, you get really excited, this is how it makes you feel, and then when you go back on your place board, you go into a zen state. I'm not sure if you guys can see her. So, and that not only does that contrast between the two, really revving her up and creating a lot of excitement, and then putting her on place and letting her calm herself down, not only does that, you know, benefit the off switch, but it helps increase the meaning of calm on place, because when they're on it, they go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, all the way down to calm. So it really amplifies this meaning of calm on place. And this is, honestly, I think this activity is rooted, you know, all of these things are extremely beneficial for a dog. Everything I'm talking about, not one of these things doesn't have strong emphasis in the dog's fulfillment, the dog's mental health, and the dog's relationship with the handler. But, you know, perhaps the biggest benefit to doing something like this with Quail is the self-soothing process. So, you know, as you guys know, that Quail, when she got herself into a frenzy, she could never get herself out of it. She was like almost like she was stuck in a trance. And yes, you can correct her out of that with an e-collar, or you can pull up on the leash, but that's us doing it, not her doing it. So she's not soothing herself. We're having to step in and go, hey, that's extremely unhealthy. Stop. This activity is all about letting her go through it. You get really excited from play. That takes you to a super heightened state of mind. Now you're going to go on place. You have all this energy left in your system while you're on place, and you're going to sit here and on your own, I'm going to supervise you to make sure you stay on place, but on your own, you're going to go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, all the way to calm. So you can see where that would benefit a dog like Quail. It benefits all dogs. All dogs that come here struggle with the ability to self-soothe. Quail's at the very higher end of that equation, you know, very, very much struggled to find a sense of calm at all. You know, everything was a joyride. Everything was, let's go to 10. And so this is going to translate into other avenues of her life. You know, when they utilize these types of activities to really bring themselves down, they start to recognize that this feeling is pretty nice and it's preferable to the overstimulated feeling, to that over-aroused kind of adrenalizing feeling. They'll start to realize that this zen feeling is preferred. And I think you can see that in her today, although now that was her looking, I don't know if you saw how she was looking for a bird. You're so silly. But when they start to prefer calm, because it feels better, it's a much, you know, clearer, productive state of mind. It helps them with their stress levels. You know, there's endless benefits for calm. So once they start realizing that that's even an option in their state of mind, they'll start choosing it more, especially as they get older. And you'll start to see it translate into real life scenarios. So this is something that I'm actually using play to teach her how to, you know, regulate herself in the outside world as she ages. So when I start to pair this style of training in with everything else that I do, in her case, I start to see things like, you know, oh my gosh, there's a rabbit, I want to run at it, but that's all we're doing right now. I'm still kind of worked up about it, but I'm going to go back over to her and I'm going to kind of calm myself down. I have seen that in her already. It's not perfect. This type of stuff is going to take a long time for Quail. You know, her development is a lot different than other dogs, so it might not translate immediately, but you will start to see these really mind-boggling moments where normally she would have really escalated and she's deciding, I don't really feel like actually going into that state of mind. I think I'm just going to come back here and go to place or to a here position with my handler, and I think I'm just going to relax. And, you know, that's what she needs. That's exactly what she needs, because she gets herself into trouble when she's in that other state of mind. So I think it's safe to say that Quail has definitely reached a really calm state after the tug that we just did. So this is how I do it. I put them on place, I wait till they calm down, I wait for eye contact, I release them to play. We play for an extended period of time, then I put them back on place, wait for them to calm down, and then I do it again. So I'm gonna get this other rope toy and see if the rope toy will encourage her to play again. The rope toy is a mess. What do you think? No, I'm gonna wait for eye contact. Try this one out. Try it out. Yeah. Get it. Get it. Well. Here I thought I had a play all figured out with her and shouldn't really seem all that interested. Let's see if this one, you like this one? Different? Oh, that better? You like that one a little better? Okay, whatever you like, sweetheart. We'll get it, we'll get it. Yeah, we'll get it. Charlie, knock it off. Get it. Get it. Yeah. Good girl. Get it. Get it. There it is. There we go. So now the excitement, now she's starting to tilt. She's starting to get off balance. This could end up leading to frustration and then spins. But you calmed yourself down. You want a little more? Place. So a couple things could be going on here. You know, this is way lower level intensity than yesterday even. So there could be a couple things going on here. One is when I went to go get her out of her crate, she was super duper sound asleep, and I was just gonna skip this session and let her sleep maybe another hour and come back and see if she's ready again later. But she actually ended up waking up to me fiddling around next to her crate, so I went ahead and got her out. But you know, this could be like, yeah, I'm really not, like, you ever wake up from a nap and you're like, yeah, I'm really not in the mood to be all hyper right now, kind of hungover from my nap. That could be what's going on. It could also be, you know, maybe my toys aren't up her alley. This could be I'm not really motivated by any of these toys thing. That could be it. Or it could be, you know, I'm really just starting to not want to be in that state of mind. You know, Quail was living in a state of chaos. I mean, even when you dropped her off, she was still living in a state of chaos. Like, it was better and it was more manageable, but she was still doing excessive circles, and you know, you could feel how much more anxiety and adrenaline she had in her system. You know, these types of moments were much harder to get for me. You know, you might have seen a variety of behavior because at home she had moments of comfort and security, but when she first got here, we didn't really see any of that. So when a dog starts to, you know, as I make these correlations, so do the dogs. It's kind of fascinating, really. But, you know, as I'm starting to realize what excitement does to her state of mind and her equilibrium and her frustration levels, and I start to really get those dialed in and regulated, that regulation starts to teach the dog also what excitement does to them. And this is where they can start making better choices, because they start to really, they start to realize as they mature that they don't want the conflict, or they don't want to feel that way, or they don't feel like escalating, or it's too much energy. You know, you really start to see them kind of come up with these conclusions on their own. And this can only happen in a home that's willing to mimic me, you know? A lot of my clients will listen to like 50% of what I say or something, and then all of a sudden the dog is back to being overstimulated because the client is actually pushing them into it. It's like, or they're not doing enough of the calming stuff, so the dog is just continuing to build up onto their excitement again instead of calming down from it, right? It just keeps building onto itself. And so in those types of situations, I feel like the dog, when they go home, actually learns to become addicted to this feeling when they're with their owner, and the owner usually feeds it. So obviously, you know, kind of creating this new mentality when she goes home of, we're going to minimize stimulation, we're going to minimize the amount of excited energy we're feeding into her. And yes, that does also include things like, oh my God, Quail, you're so cute, blah, blah, blah. That she can feel that, you know? So it's really like even about us kind of neutralizing ourselves, you know? Or it's like, Quail, you're awesome, I love you, instead of like, oh my God, Quail, you're just so awesome, and then carrying on with that high level conversation. You know, all these things start to really add to this excitement that I'm talking about. So I think I would get the feeling that that, you know, she, because I've used all these toys before and they've worked well, that she is probably a little bit sleepy and groggy from her nap, and that sleepy and grogginess has made her decide that she doesn't feel like getting revved up. This feeling of contentment feels better, and she chooses to stay in that state of mind instead of the excited one. So that's probably, I think, where she's coming from today in this session. I don't have time to make another one of these videos because I wish that I could show you. I was hoping to show you when she's in full on I want to play mode, because then the whole equilibrium thing and all the things that we have discussed and seen in the past start to pop up again, and I was kind of hoping to mimic that today. But she's not going to give me that, I can tell you that right now. She is super mellow. I love seeing her this calm, you know, too. She can look out both these windows, and there's like, I guess like every single bird and their mom has decided to come back to Grand Junction this last week. So, you know, pretty much every time I look out a window, I can see movement of a bird. And she can look out that window too. So, I'm really starting to just see this dog. You know, I'm not saying it's perfect. She's still very high prey drive and very much wants to chase after prey animals. But I'm just starting to see more pack drive, a little, you know, less interest, the ability to listen better when those things are present, calming herself down better when those things are present, and just in general having more of a zen feel throughout the day. You know, she has her moments of not zen anymore, but they're not nearly as frequent. So when you're doing these types of activities, which, you know, this is gonna be a video that you need to keep on file, because after today, when she goes home, I'm actually gonna discourage you from playing for a bit and really just trying to teach her this sense of calm in your environment. And then we can add this. This is gonna be a video that you're gonna be more like holding on to until you're ready for it. But it's still really good information. It's still going to, could end up being a key component in her rehabilitation with you after she goes home. So she's on a bird right now. Let me see if I can just show you some of the other stuff that we've been working on before I crate her up. Change this angle a little bit so you're more to the side here. There you go, Quail. signal, the e-collar is turned on. So e-collar, I'm not going to turn it off until she sits. I gave her the signal. Sure, down, whatever. I'm not going to be nitpicky with this dog. And then let's go. And then here, which sometimes when I'm not holding her, that was a greeting from her. Sometimes when I'm not holding her line, she'll start doing this shit. So I have to give her, if I'm not holding the leash, you know, there's going to be some old behaviors. And that's part of her equilibrium, part of her trying to problem solve, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, and then I did the here command with my hand. She actually chose to sit on her own, and I can let's go, place. These are things that you can do at home, but I think that in general, when she first comes home, you're going to actually need to feel this sense of calm before you start doing this stuff with her, because when she's around you guys, she really revs up a lot. And I could not actually do any of this shit when she first came here. There's no way. It took me a couple weeks to get to the point where I was comfortable even attempting this because of how much her habits want to send her into frenzies, you know, into these neurotic circles and stuff. So, I want to show you guys this, but this is something that you might have to build up to in terms of practicing these types of repetitions because she is super hard. And when you don't have a line kind of constantly keeping her within a bubble and within a line, she is going to start spinning circles. And if she's not calm, those circles are going to look a lot more excessive than what you just saw right there. So. Okay. So this is all equilibrium shit. What you can't hear is that I keep doing the cadence thing on the e-collar, where I'm like, come on, you know what I want. Come back to reality. Good. So I tap for that. I tap for that. Well, I cadence things over and over and over and over again when I ask her. Like I'm going to cadence this right here. Now I'm not going to stop tapping my e-collar until I get this because I've asked for it. She sees it and she's just being a brat. I'm going to go up to a 4. Good. Those are bratty moments. So when I get these kind of more bratty moments, I actually need to keep tapping until I get what I want. What I do want, I wish I would have put my damn speaker box onto this video because it would have helped you guys tremendously. But one of the things that I don't do is, you see how she like came over and she was like off balance and she was like all like facing the other direction. When I start to see her, what to me it feels like a frenzy. She's lost her balance. She's definitely, when she bursts off the place, there's a burst of excitement. I feel like when she comes out of her crate, it's the same thing. There's a burst of excitement. And I'm trying not to let her go in circles, but at the same time, it's a fine line between not letting her go into circles and also not having the E-stem, the E-collar stimulation, constantly in progress when she's trying to just reorient her balance, right? So it's like, I don't want you to spin in circles, but if you're clearly doing this type of stuff, I probably need to let the e-collar off so that you can, she's really truly just trying to regain her orientation. She's disoriented. And I feel like when the e-collar can turn on in those situations, that can add to her frustration. So it's a fine line with Quail, and there might be some trial and error with you guys in terms of kind of understanding when she's just being neurotic and defiant and when she's just genuinely off of her balance. Let me see if I can, I think I have a speaker right here. Let me do one more set of reps with this speaker on. There we go. So I'm on a 3. This is perfect. really just, I don't want to fucking do this. I'm looking at you, I'm seeing you, I don't want to do it. And that's when I'll keep that cadence. You know, you're gonna keep feeling this. It's not gonna turn off. You gotta turn this off by listening to me. Now let me see if I can get an example of when she gets out of her equilibrium. You're not gonna do it now? You don't want mom and dad to find out your secrets? Isn't that nice? Great job, sweetheart. Well, I don't want to do too much more, you guys. I've been on recording for a while, and I don't particularly like to do super long sessions with Quail. Even though she's really calm right now, I prefer to end on that really super good note than end on the one where she gets all off kilter and I like to end on really good stuff with her. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get straight to the leash and the crate video. So we've got the crate. Where's Quail? Where's Quail at? I don't even know. I'm gonna do it like this. There we go. So you got her crate. You can see her crate in the background. She's being a super good girl. Now I'm gonna do another video. Hopefully maybe tonight. Maybe I'll get another one in tonight. What do you think? Where it's taking her leash off in the crate when she doesn't have an e-collar on, because that actually is a bit different than this video. And I think what I'm going to probably, again, encourage you guys to do for the first couple weeks that she's home is put her in her crate with the leash on and do the repetitions that I taught you at the midweek, right? Okay, I understand. You're cute, but you need to respect my space. Thank you. So, I'm going to make a video of those reps in its own video so that you can have that as a reference for when she comes home. I'll add the ears in so you have that too. But this is like phase 2. This is like when the leash becomes super easy and she understands that you guys are going to be doing the same things that I'm doing. Because what it's going to end up translating into is, so you get the leash, you put it over the top of the e-collar, loosen the stopper, make sure this metal clasp is underneath her neck, and then really just start to create as much slack as you can. Now watch her nose. See how she dipped her nose? That is her taking her leash off herself. And this is what has prevented all this drama about flicking her head off, is I'm creating a loose enough leash where she can dip her nose down and take that leash off of herself so she feels safer for some reason. Now let's see what she does with the spinning in the crate. Now you're not going to go in? Let's go. Good. Look at that. Beautiful. Great job, sister. I am sure you never thought that was possible. And this would not have been possible without a shit ton of repetitions. Quail's always going to need repetitions. That's what happens when you get a dog that has medical issues. But calm. Calm, calm, calm. You're calm. She's calm. You give her calm. You ask for calm. You breathe and exhale calm. You show her how to breathe and exhale. This is all rooted in calm, you guys. That's really, and trust, you know, because her being in that super frantic, heightened state of mind kind of creates this paranoia. Everything's a threat. The leash is a threat. Your hands are a threat. Why are you touching me? I'm overstimulated. You know, you get that type of mentality. When you just keep calm, relaxed, everything's chill, I'm here to advocate for you, the dog comes down with you on that level. And then when you start to break down the repetitions for her to show her, you don't have to spin in circles and you can take the leash off yourself, and I'm not gonna come at you with, oh no, it's okay, Quail, I'm not here to hurt hurt you. That's an excited state of mind, right? That's an excited tone, but more just like, hey, let me show you how this is gonna go. You don't have anything to worry about. Coming at her with that approach is far more beneficial to her than any other type of conversation that you can have with her. So that's how this was created. I hope you're stoked, because I sure am. I'm just, as you can tell, her and I are as bonded as can be. I absolutely adore this dog. But those are my kind of new tidbits of information and progress reports.